So this is the first video I've done since Taiwan and China. Without a selfie stick it didn't really work. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to film the summer's travels or not. If I can get hold of a selfie stick, quite possibly. But today I'm going to show you how to cook one of my favourite meals, and it's dead simple. It is tuna steak, and that's it really. Tuna steak and oven chips. Let's keep it simple. You can see I've got my yellowfish tuna steaks. Couldn't normally afford these. Morrisons have become ridiculously expensive, but we got a bargain, reduced to £2.5 from £8.19. Now, just out of interest, Aldi do the same yellowfin tuna steaks for £4.95. So quite a difference there. Morrisons are taking the piss lately, unfortunately. Got my basil seed lychee drink. I love these drinks. They really don't look appetising, but they are nice. And I've got my Morrisons fresh cream hot cross buns 2-pack, which was actually only £1, which is actually a bargain. Quite surprising for Morrisons, because quite often the tag will be £1 on the shelf and it'll actually be about £7 when you get to the checkout. Notorious for instance, I'm not doing well. Now, I love fresh tuna steak. You can eat this raw. Technically, it'll be sashimi, I suppose. But what I like to do, I like to fry it very lightly with a bit of lemon and a bit of oil. Now, the only oil I have at the moment is avocado oil. You don't need to use avocado oil. It's not even that nice, to be honest with you, but it's just what I have at the moment. So unlike the likes of Jamie Oliver, Nigella and all the rest, my cookery you can genuinely follow along. It's fairly simple. You start with your oven chips in a nice polystyrene pack, and you like that. And then once the wrapper is sufficiently murdered, you rip it apart. Like so. I'm doing this one-handed because, like I said, I don't have a selfie stick, apart from the piece of junk that I bought from a French company on Temu that broke a day after I got it, which was a day before I went to Taiwan, which was absolutely fantastic. So that's nice and open. Package is sufficiently murdered. So the next aspect is to open your oven, like so. And it should be nice and hot in there. I don't bother preheating for too long, there's no point. It's an electric cooker. So you then take out your tray, making sure that you don't get third-degree burn. So you use a very old, whatever the hell that is, a tea cloth. And you pour your chips, like so. Nice golden oven chips. Just chuck them around a bit, spread them out a bit, and then, isn't that beautiful? So you take your oven cloth thingy again, and you somehow manage to put them in the cooker for about 200 degrees for 1 second. How long for? For 10 to 12 minutes, which is fine on 200 degrees, because that is about the time you need to cook your fresh tuna. So with one tuna steak chucked in and sizzling nicely, let's chuck the other one in. Listen to this. Right. So what we do for about 4 minutes is we find a spoon. Mango chutney. And we cook it on one side each for about 4 minutes each side, without setting off the smoke alarms. suspiciously in this flat. I've been here nearly a year and that thing hasn't gone off once, despite the smog, which worries me somewhat. And somebody might need to have a word with a letting agent. Although we do have that. Never had to be used yet, but I've never actually heard that even bleep in nearly a year. Next stage is to one-handedly murder your lemon, like so. And that will come in handy a little bit later on. The lemon, not the knife. See, my tuna is now looking nice and brown as opposed to pink. So halfway done. So we've chucked 4 minutes on each side. Well, this is about halfway through the second side. And the onion chips are doing nicely in there. Aren't they cute? And the next stage isn't too technical, it's to turn your oven off, or turn the frying bit off, because the tuna is done. Like I said, you don't need to go too incinerated with the tuna. You just get your spoon, you pick it out as so, not missing the bit of tuna that's skipped there. Beautiful tuna. Now you take your lemons, one-handed again, you smash out the work surface on the way, so thereby sacrificing your deposit when you finally want to leave this dump. You take your lemon and, no, that doesn't work, you squeeze your lemon. Now you can make nice little lemon flowers all over your tuna, but let's not mess around. And this way you also have lemon left for the next day. Wouldn't keep your lemon from shut up, wouldn't keep it for more than a day, but if you've got any dish that needs lemon the next day, you can chuck it in a poly bag and put it in the fridge and you've got some lemon. Next stage is to check on your oven chips. Aren't they looking nice and yellowy? So I think they're done. So what you do is you make sure your oven is off, like so, otherwise you'll burn down your home and you definitely will lose your deposit. So you, again, are trying to avoid third-degree burns. You take your spoon, which looks a bit manky, and no, that doesn't work. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Pomme frites, oven pomme frites, a la reduced tuna steaks from Morrisons. Ooh, nearly forgot the piece de resistance. Morrisons mayo. Better than Hellman's.